our team, our community. This is CondorsTown, and this is another Energy Condors connection. Now, here's Erik Fox and Ryan Holt.
A beautiful Tuesday morning in B-Town, and maybe a different view for Ryan today than we normally have, because Ryan, I don't think you're in Bakersfield today.
Nope, we're in Calgary at the Saddle Dome, so getting ready for 2 games here tonight and tomorrow, and hopefully a couple of wins for the Condors.
Well, hopefully as well. We'll talk about, of course, what's going on with the Condors in just a little bit here. First of all, how much poutine have you had so far?
None, actually. None. Looking forward to it, though. I bet probably either today or tomorrow.
All right. One thing, they do have poutine all over Canada, including in Edmonton. And, of course, we start talking about the Edmonton Oilers as the parent organization. Anything going on?
I know, right?
Major changes, of course, we're going to talk about here. Coaching changes, of course, is the major one, because the Edmonton Oilers have, they have not had the start we expected them to have this season, where, every time there's some adversity, there's going to be some changes and some big ones going on.
Yeah. Jay Woodcroft and, Dave Manson were let go this week, and, it's a business. It's tough. Jay and Dave are good friends of mine, and just on a personal, level for a lot of this, Condor staff, 2 guys that, we worked with for 4 or 5 years, and obviously have stayed in close contact with for, the better part of 7 years. So, difficult day. I think, it's hard to separate business with personal feelings, but that's what it is. And unfortunately, it had to be made from the Oilers' perspective, and they think that gives them best chance moving forward. And they won last night. They've won 2 in a row. So hopefully, hopefully it spurs some guys in that dressing room to get back to the way they've been playing, I guess, if you will.
It's kind of an interesting change, because for Connor McDavid, it's a return to some familiarity. As maybe people who don't know, can you explain like the new coach and what the situation is there?
Yeah, Chris Knobloch was the coach of the Erie Otters for 4 or 5 years while Connor was in Erie. I think that's just happenstance. I don't think their paths have crossed in the last 9 years, I think. So, Chris Knobloch certainly, qualified from, his standpoint, a couple of years as an assistant in Philadelphia, head coach in Hartford for the last, 5-6 years with the Rangers AHL team. So certainly is, deserving of an opportunity, and, great to see him get his first win last night.
Let's talk about that win, because, some teams that seem to just need that little invigoration. I mean, we'll talk about my team. I mean, the Ducks have had an interesting year with new coaching. New coaching can bring a lot of life into a team. Are you kind of seeing that with the changes?
I think so. I think it's still early to kind of make any, conclusions. Chris really didn't even have he had a morning skate with the team, and that was it. He probably didn't even get to, I'm assuming he met everybody in the dressing room, but he probably hasn't had a one-on-one conversation with his entire team yet. So, we're, you get a couple practice days. They got a long road trip coming up. Dylan Holloway got hurt last night, so we'll see how that impacts everything. But it's good for him to get the first one under his belt, and then play tomorrow night and then get out on the road.
Let's talk about what the outlook is. I mean, obviously a coaching change. Any other things you're seeing happening with the organization is, they haven't had the start they wanted, and obviously they want to change it around for the year.
Yeah, I think there's still, there's still time, right? But, it's definitely the onus on the players to perform better, the coaches to coach better, and, the organization as a whole to, kind of dig themselves out of this. It's, not the start they were looking for, but, thankfully there's plenty of time left, but they got to get going. They're going to have to, play at a clip that they played at last year to get into the postseason. And, when you have, the players that they have and the talent that they have, they definitely should be in the mix. And, now it's on them to go out and prove it.
Of course, everything happens up there affects us locally with the, I know not locally where you are right now, but locally where I'm sitting right now in Bakersfield. And let's talk about the Condors. We talked last week. It's going to be a tough road trip. I mean, it's going to be a couple teams that really have a lot of fire behind them. Abbotsford, not necessarily the outcome we wanted with a couple drops, but Calgary, who is also another team that just seems to be on fire right now. What are you seeing for today and tomorrow?
Yeah, this was a tough road trip going into it. Regardless of what's happening, Abbotsford's a very good team. In Calgary, arguably, yeah, I mean, they won the division last year, and they're at the top of the division this year. And I always say, to be the best, you got to beat the best. So this is the measuring stick. Here this week against this Calgary team. It's a team in Calgary that ran roughshod through the division last year. They beat just about everybody, and this year they're off to a great start too. They don't have their top netminder in Dustin Wolf, who's kind of the AHL all everything. He's up in the NHL, but Oscar Dance has come in, and he pitched 2 pretty good games last week in wins over San Diego and down in Palm Desert. So I want to see the Condors offense come to life a little bit. Some guys have kind of maybe a little slow out of the gate, maybe a little inconsistent out of the gate, but you look at the resumes, you look at the pedigree, that would lead you to believe that goals will come for this team. I think so I'm not necessarily worried about that. What I've been really impressed with is the defensive play. Third in goals against, and that's even with allowing 8 goals in the last 2 games. We still had pretty good overall team defense, and I think that's a key moving forward, because I think you can always rely on your defense, and then the goals will come for this team. And when you put them both together, that's when the wins will start coming back into that column.
Once again, this is the Energy Condors Connection. Ryan Holt is in Calgary as he is the broadcaster along with the team. My name is Erik Fox from Energy 95.3. Let's talk about everything that does happen in Edmonton does affect us. Are you seeing some things that might affect us with some of the shakeup up there?
Yeah, I mean, the Oilers have 3 guys out right now, and because of that, we've got a couple of guys up there already, and maybe some potentially more on the way. But I think for us, I think we're used to it. I think going into a year that you're going to use upwards of 50 players, you're going to use upwards of 3 to 4 goaltenders, and you just have to find wins, and you have to bank them when you can get them. And you come in here, and this is a tough place to get a split. So you come in here, and this is the measuring stick. I want to see the offense come to life here this week against Calgary, and really the Condors have enough depth, the Condors have enough offensive firepower to be able to hang with a team like Calgary. But it's about putting it together, it's about working hard. Team worked hard, certainly in Abbotsford. I thought a couple of bounces here and there, and those are tight hockey games, but it's one of those situations, much like in Edmonton. When the puck's not going in, it feels like every bounce goes against you, and then when the puck's going in, it feels like you can do no wrong. So like last night with McDavid, gets a fortunate bounce, gets on the score sheet. He probably gets rolling right now. Same thing with a lot of guys here in Bakersfield. If a couple of bounces go in, all of a sudden, this team will start rolling.
Well, at least the nice thing after the back-to-back we got going on today and tomorrow, you guys get 6 days off before you're back in town.
Yeah.
How important it is to kind of get that rest as you have a tough road trip like that.
Yeah, it's nice, but I think this team wants to play games, and the games are going to come here, right? Next week is Tuesday, Saturday. The following week is Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and then it kind of rolls into 3 games every week for the rest of the year. So I think the rhythm will help the team, honestly, because I think it has been a little scattered here early on, just from the amount of games played. We have the fewest amount of games played in the division right now, and that'll change over the next couple of weeks, and hopefully with that, able to find some rhythm offensively and not have to sit on games and think about games too much.
Well, I doubt many people are going to be hitting on a plane right now out of Baco and going to Calgary. So how do people check the game out?
AHL TV tonight should be a good one. 6 o'clock puck drop tonight and tomorrow on AHL TV, and then we're back home next Tuesday for Taco Tuesday before Thanksgiving, and then jam-packed teddy bear toss coming your way next Saturday. So it should be a lot of fun here next couple of weeks, and a lot of great stuff going on in the arena.
Well, we'll be checking in next Tuesday, and hopefully a couple W's underneath the belt as we talk about what happened in Calgary, as we do every single week here, as we get you all caught up on all things CondorsTown with someone who's going to be warming up a little bit. Although we're chilling out next week, so we got you ready, so you'll be able to get comfortable leaving the Canadian cold for here.
For sure, yeah, it's cold up here, but it's not windy, so it's all right.
There you go. It's like the it's hot here, but it's not humid.
Exactly.
Ryan Holt for the Bakersfield Condors. My name is Erik Fox of Marichi 95.3 every single Tuesday, 10 a.m. You get caught up in all things CondorsTown, so make sure you join us every single time right here on the social pages. You got the YouTubes, you got the Facebooks, you got all that fun stuff, and of course, we razz each other because that's where we're brothers from another mother here. Ryan, I appreciate your time as always, my friend.
Thanks, Erik. Appreciate you.
We'll catch you in our next edition right here of your Energy Condors Connection with the Bakersfield Condors and